CJ Flyer back at the fire, another YouTube video. Today, not doing a tutorial, but rather talking about hashtag CFB Play Don't Pay, talking about the microtransactions EA has added into College Football 27 Dynasty mode, sharing some background for those that have no idea what I'm talking about, sharing some updates and some of my own insight that have popped up from the past 24 hours, and of course, sharing my own thoughts on the situation. For anyone new to the channel, I primarily make tutorial videos for the latest sports games, including the NBA 2K series, the college football series, a little bit of Madden sprinkled in, and of course, with the college basketball game coming out in early 2027, I will likely have videos for that game as well. Now, I'm not partnered with EA, I'm not partnered with 2K. I have shared my displeasure in the past with certain pay-to-win mechanics that have been added into certain modes in NBA 2K. And in general, I'm just not a fan of microtransactions being added to single-player offline modes. Okay, so now that you know where I generally stand on microtransactions in these games, let me just give a little bit of a brief background for anyone that has no idea what's been going on. Bordeaux, the largest college football dynasty creator on YouTube, made a post on X yesterday and uploaded a YouTube video talking about how he felt he was blindsided by EA, how the early builds of the game did not include the ability to purchase coach levels, and you were able to still upgrade or change a setting in the league settings to change the coach progression from normal rate to a faster or fastest rate, the same as you could in College Football 26 and College Football 25. And Bordeaux has since doubled down. He said he's not willing to partner with them again until they make some changes, or at least find some kind of middle ground as far as allowing microtransactions, but not doing so in a way that also removes features that were previously free in the past games. So again, the reason why people are so upset is because you used to be able to go into your settings of your dynasty mode in an offline dynasty or online dynasty for that matter, if you were an owner or commissioner, and you could increase the coach progression rate of your coach XP to be faster or the fastest. And now they have removed that feature from the game. You can still change the speed at which your coach progresses, but they've removed the faster and fastest options and have replaced that with the ability to purchase coach levels. So there's a lot of speculation that, and to be honest, I don't think it's a coincidence at all, that you can no longer manually increase the rate at which your coach progresses. And instead, if you want that to be the case, if you want your coach to increase at a faster rate, you have to pay real money in order to obtain that. Now, I don't know what was included in the early builds of the game that Bordeaux got to play, or any of the other creators partnered with EA got to play at their studio or at the pre-release event. But what I know is from the beta version of the game, while they didn't have the ability to purchase coach levels from what I saw, they did have another pay mechanic in Dynasty mode that I didn't really see get talked about a lot. Now, obviously, you know, when the beta was out before the release of the full game, you're not allowed to talk about what's in the beta, or, you know, there's limitations. You can't share your screen, you can't screenshot, you can't record video. So unfortunately, I can't show any images of this or any video clips of the beta, but I can tell you from playing the beta, there was a mechanic in the game where if you went to the player card of a player on your roster, and let's say for a certain player ability that they did not have unlocked yet, if they met the rating criteria, but you did not have the XP to purchase that ability, you were given the option to pay real money in order to unlock that player ability instead. And when I saw that, I was not very pleased. I was a bit concerned actually, and so I actually posted on EA's closed beta forum and just said, hey, you know, if you guys really need to monetize this, so be it, I suppose, but at least give us the option as online dynasty owners and commissioners to turn this setting off, because otherwise it's going to ruin the integrity of online dynasties. It's going to be really hard to manage, you know, trying to figure out if someone happened to spend real money to just upgrade their players to platinum abilities. You know, it's hard to say, right? So at least to maintain fairness and integrity within online dynasties, allow that to be turned off. I never got a reply on that feedback forum. I never got any kind of acknowledgement at all. But it's, at least to me, the way I'm perceiving it is they were scrambling last minute to try to figure out ways to monetize Dynasty further than just the purchase price of the base game. And this was apparently what they ended up coming up with for the release, was removing the settings to, or the option to be able to increase your coach's progression rate and replacing it with the ability to purchase coach levels. So removing something that was previously free and making it a paid feature, which again doesn't sit well with me, and it shouldn't sit well with you or anyone else. It's pretty disgusting business practice, especially when, to be honest, I mean, let me help EA out here. There are so many other ways you could monetize this game mode without doing scummy business practices like this, with keeping the previous free features still free, and with maintaining that integrity and fairness within Dynasty. Now again, I don't endorse spending money on microtransactions. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really do it myself. The only additional money I will pay is for some sort of whatever digital deluxe version is available, and that's primarily just because then I get the game early, and then I'm able to make videos on the game as soon as possible. So that's the tutorials are, the basic tutorials are all out and available for people to watch by the time they actually get their hands on the standard release of the game. That's the main reason why I ever purchase any kind of upgraded version that has early access. It's for the early access. I don't really care about the Ultimate Team benefits. I don't really care about, like, Rainmaker, for example, the new coach abilities that you can get as a result of getting the MVP Plus edition. I don't ever intend to even make a video on that. There's no point. I mean, like, it's a feature that I think most people are going to turn off or exclude from their online dynasties. I just don't see the point in doing tests on it even. Why? When most people can't even get access to it because they bought the standard release of the game, I think it's a waste. I don't even intend to use it for my own dynasties, to be quite honest. So yeah, again, I mainly purchase those for early access. I don't really like microtransactions in the game. Even when it's just cosmetics, I mean, that's fine, but the only time I think microtransactions are really acceptable in these types of big titles is if the base game is free. Like thinking about Fortnite, for example. You can play Fortnite for free still to this day. It's almost 10 years old now, I think. But anyways, just to give EA some quick ideas on how they can monetize Dynasty without ruining it for the rest of us, just leaving the game as it is, letting us play it the way we want to play it, while also adding some paid features that other people can choose to buy if they want. But again, I don't endorse it. I don't think you should be buying them. First off, cosmetics for your players. Everyone was going crazy a few months ago with all of those AI posts about adding different equipment into the game, what it could look like, making the game look more realistic as far as the players' outfits, as far as the equipment. By all means, make that a paid feature. Make it a paid feature to where maybe the recruit has whatever auto-generated equipment. Don't purposely make it hideous or ugly. Leave it the way it is for now and let people make changes or upgrade the equipment not the equipment from the athletics facilities, but the cosmetics. I'm talking like the gear on the players. Let people pay to change the gear if they want. I think it's ridiculous, and I don't think these microtransactions should be in the game, but at least people will pay for that. And it's a bit of a middle ground, like Bordeaux is kind of alluding to in some of his recent posts on X in the past 24 hours. If it has to come down to that, let's find a middle ground. If you got to find ways to, monetize this mode further than just paying for the base game, I don't endorse it. But if you had to put something in there, by all means, go for that. And even further from that, you saw those AI posts from a few months ago with, walking around on campus with your Road to Glory player or with your coach in Dynasty. Give us a DLC pack even. It doesn't have to be a microtransaction, just a full-on DLC pack that someone can pay for. Maybe it's like $10 or something. They get to walk around campus, and all it is walking from your office to the stadium. Like, do that. And it doesn't even have to be the actual campus of it. There's over 100 schools. Adding a campus for each one would, really take up file size there. I mean, if it's just a generic stadium or something or generic campus, go for it. 2K already does that with their My Career mode, their city. The city is the same no matter what NBA team you're playing on. So, I mean, by all means, add that as a $10 DLC. It's not mandatory for playing Dynasty mode, but heck, have it there. It won't ruin it for the rest of us, and there's going to be plenty of people that will want to pay for it. I'm just throwing out ideas so that we can get our mode back, so that we can have what we want. They can make their money, and everyone's happy. But instead of doing that, it seems like EA is just hoping that this will all blow over, and we'll all just sit around and be quiet they did share a memo with the creators that were partnered with EA. They got a memo from EA earlier today. That's what's been going around on X. And it's just basically addressing acknowledgement of the feedback that they've gotten, except they did it in such a weird and twisted way. And it states at the top, we've seen questions around Coach XP progression Dynasty. I don't know if I'd call it questions. I'd call it concerns more than questions, but go on. Key facts. The core coach level progression is unchanged from College Football 26. But then they say further down, they list this as a positive. Coach point rewards and coach abilities have evolved from College Football 26, including coaches can now earn 25 coach points per level when it was previously 10. Now, on the surface, to anyone that has not played this game yet, of course, that sounds great. Oh, we get more coach points. That must mean we can buy more abilities. That is absolutely wrong. In fact, the abilities are more expensive for the coach points that you're awarded per level than they were in College Football 26. If you do some quick math, if you look at the motivator, recruiter, and tactician archetype trees, I'm talking about the base tier of abilities for every one of those archetypes. In College Football 26, you earn 10 coach points per coach level that you increase, and for each of those abilities within recruiter, motivator, and tactician, each tier cost 8 points. So you would spend 80% of a coach level's worth of points to get each tier of ability within those trees. Now, if you look at College Football 27, you get 25 points. But when you go to purchase those tiers, it's staggered. It's not the same cost for everyone. It goes from 15 to 20 to 25 to 30. So you might be thinking, well, that actually sounds pretty great. 15 out of 25, that's 60%. That's an improvement. Yes, so the Tier 1 for all of those archetypes are cheaper. Then we get to Tier 2 where it's 20 out of 25. That's 80%. It's basically the same cost. If you are looking at it on a, points spent per points earned from coach level perspective, 80% of coach points earned from a coach level in 27 would go towards buying Tier 2 in College Football 27. Then we go to Tier 3, and Tier 3 is 25 as the cost. That's the same amount of points that you get for just increasing one level. So that already is making it more expensive than College Football 26. So I guess if you were to add up Tier 1 and Tier 3 and take the average is going to be 20. 20 out of 25 is 80%. So Tier 1 through 3 for recruiter, motivator, and tactician tactician's its own thing. I should be saying motivator and recruiter, excuse me. Looking at motivator and recruiter, Tiers 1 through 3, average them out. Same cost as College Football 26. But if we look at Tier 4 for these trees, Tier 4 is 30 points. That's 120% of the coach points that you get from a level. And I mean, it just baffles me. So they're straight up lied, or it's not a lie. It's more of a misleading statement to say, well, now you can earn 25 points instead of 10. Aren't you guys happy? Well, no, because the amount of points you spend on average per tier of ability is more than what you spent in 26. So it means nothing. It's just manipulating the numbers to make it appear like you are earning coach points faster, or coach abilities faster, but you're actually not. And so that's also why in my coach build video the other day, I was saying yes, if you got to talent developer Tier 4, I mean, you're going to get some great boosts, but it's going to take you forever to get there. It's going to take you till around, for all the position groups, you'd have to get to level 60, and good luck getting there quickly. It's going to take you multiple seasons if you're not paying for coach levels, and especially with the progression rate not being able to increase it if you're offline playing solo dynasty and you wanted to do that. And again, it's because not only are you capped at that normal progression rate, but they also increase the cost of the abilities relative to what you earn per coach level that you upgrade. So I hope that math all made sense. And beyond that, they did acknowledge the faster and fastest progression was removed from Dynasty, and current status continue to monitor community feedback. So they didn't really, it seems like they're playing the waiting game right now. They're aware that people are upset about this, and they're choosing to not do anything about it at the moment. And then there was another piece of information that Bordeaux has shared earlier this afternoon, actually. It's some insider, some journalist got inside information within EA's studio, within the dev team. Apparently there were devs that knew about these pay mechanics that were going to be coming to the game and were allegedly livid about it for months, is how it's being reported, and that EA is preparing to put more monetization into future single player only titles. We're not even just talking about college football at this point, because college football is not a single player only title. It's a mix of single player and multiplayer. EA is just they're going full steam ahead, monetization every single one of their games. Single player, multiplayer, doesn't matter. If it wasn't there before, it's going to be in there now, is apparently the game plan. And the sources also say that they are just waiting for this frustration to blow over. Now, maybe it will, maybe it won't. This is not the first time that EA has gotten community backlash and that they had to actually back down because of it. It was almost a decade ago with, I think it was Star Wars Battlefront 2, not Battlefront 1. It's the most downvoted Reddit comment in Reddit history. Basically, the response to someone was upset that when the game first released, you had to pay real money to unlock Darth Vader, I think. And, their response was, we wanted to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment for getting this skin unlocked. Pride and accomplishment of paying your money to be able to play with certain characters in the game. So, I feel like we're getting similar vibes right now. College football is obviously, it's popular, right? College football is popular, but I don't know that the game itself is as popular as the Star Wars IP and the Star Wars Battlefront game. But that all being said, EA has had a history of being back down before. What is different this time around compared to what happened a decade ago is, first of all, it's just more normal practice to have microtransactions in video games and even paid video games. And so there's that to account for. It's been a whole decade since that whole situation with Star Wars Battlefront happened. Additionally, EA is under new ownership. They were bought out in September of 2025, so last year, after College Football 26 had already released, and it was a number of investors. There's a private equity firm, an investment firm. Private equity is notorious for trying to milk companies dry, being able to squeeze every last penny out of the consumer, and oftentimes at the expense of reducing the quality of said product, reducing production quality, reducing quantity of what they're giving out per dollar to the consumer. So I really don't want that to happen here with this game. And again, EA, I gave you some ideas. There's plenty of things you can do. I mean, heck, even just, I don't endorse buying coach levels. I really hope that they would just get removed from the game. But if you left them in there and just added the progression rates of faster and fastest back to the game, you're still going to have the people that would pay for the coach levels anyways still pay for them. And then the features that were free in previous titles are still free in the current title. And I wouldn't say everyone's happy, but at least we can be content with it all. And at least there's the option for online Dynasty owners and commissioners to turn off the bonuses, the paid bonuses, the pre-order bonuses, and not allow that for other people to utilize. So if that has to be the middle ground, then so be it. It's just really scummy when you're taking free features or features that were free in a previous title, making them paid now. So that's currently where things stand at the moment. I would like to hear your thoughts about this whole discussion and everything that's been going on in the comment section down below. I will be replying to comments. I do not intend on making multiple videos about this unless there is some new development like EA removing some paid feature or giving some kind of free bonus as compensation, whatever. Unless some new development comes out, I don't plan on talking about this at all. This is, generally speaking, I'm just making tutorials for people, and especially for people that want to play the game for free. If you look through my channel at some past videos, I have made videos in the past, like for NBA 2K. If you haven't played that game, the My Career mode is notorious for being pay to win. Otherwise, it's an absolute grind in order to be able to get the same amount of ratings, badges, abilities, and what have you, as people that paid an extra $100 or so just to unlock all those instantaneously. It takes several hours, if not days, to get the same stuff. And so, you know, I've made a video in the past, a couple videos about, hey, this is how you can unlock certain aspects, certain ratings, badges, whatever, faster with no money spent. Like this is the method to, you know, reduce the amount of time you're grinding it out. But really, there shouldn't be any grinding out that needs to be done anyway. It's a video game, is supposed to be fun, and it just frustrates me that this is the norm now. So again, let me know your thoughts down below. If you want to watch any College Football 27 Dynasty tutorials, you can click one of the other videos on your screen, and I'll see you all in the next one.